how to answer the question, we're going to talk about these last two steps. Evidence and explain, both steps that you know how to do because these are also in the PCE strategy, but we're going to talk about them one more time just to be sure. So getting evidence, this just means finding a sentence or a phrase in the text that supports your answer and cite it. And why do we do this? Because a credible writer always has proof for their answers. They always refer to somebody else or a primary source to support what they're saying. So when you're citing an evidence, you must always have three things. What are the three things you must always have? Right, quotation marks. And quotation marks look like this, by the way. These little guys here. Quotation marks, author's last name to show who wrote it, but just the last name, not the full name, and the page number that you found the quote on. So 3 important things. If you miss any one of these, it is an incorrect citation. So let's look at one example. This is a paragraph that we have read before in class about llama poop. So let's look at the question that's being asked. What is one cool fact about llama poop that the article described? So, first thing we have to do is we have to restate this question. What is the question phrase that I need to delete? What is the question phrase in this question that I need to delete? If you said what is, you are correct. So I can start with one cool fact about llama poop that the article described, and I'll say talks about. Now I have to go into my article here and look for a cool fact. So it looks here that it says llama poop, or llama beans as the farmer referred to it, is almost odorless. That's cool. But it also is super beneficial and it's used to burn for fuel. That's even cooler. So I'm going to say one cool fact about llama poop that the article described talks about how people can burn it for fuel or energy. And now I have to cite evidence. So whenever we cite evidence, we start off our sentence by saying, for example, the text says. Remember this statement because this is what you are going to be starting your sentence with. For example, the text says, and now I need to go into my article and look for a sentence that describes how people burned llama poop for energy. I need to find a sentence that supports my answer and only your answer. So don't find a random sentence or a random phrase here. You want to find something that supports what you're talking about. So the sentence here says that the Inca, or an ancient civilization, used to burn llama poop for fuel. That supports my answer, so I'm going to copy and paste that into my answer. And I need to add my 3 things. Quotation marks. And what is the author's last name and page number here? Yeah, it says on the top, Tamanaha 1. So there we have our completed citation. All right, let's try one more, and now you are going to choose the citation. So the question is the same. What is one cool fact about llama poop that the article described. And we answered it saying, one cool fact about llama poop that the article described states how pellets can be used to help plants grow. So, what sentence in this article supports that the poop can be used to help plants grow? What sentence says that? Okay, so now we have to start our sentence off. What phrase can we use to begin our sentence? Yes. So, for example, the text says, and if you said this sentence, you are correct. Nowadays, llama poop makes amazing eco-friendly fertilizer. We're going to copy that into our statement, lowercase. And what are the 3 things I need to add? Quotation marks, author's last name, which is Tamanaha, and page number, which is 1. So here we have our restate, our answer, and our evidence. So this is something that we need to get used to doing on our own, and we're going to practice doing that, so we'll have some time to work on that. But the last thing I wanted to describe here is explain. So I have been talking for a while, so I want you to take a break. Put this on pause and take a 5-minute break. Okay, so you should have come back from your break, and now we're going to finish up with our last step of R.A.G.E. It's the E, and that is the explain. So the explain means to explain what your evidence means and how it connects to your answer. So at this point, you should have something that looks like this with a quote at the end of your answer. Now, this doesn't stand alone. Your citations don't explain itself. You must explain to your reader why you chose this quote and what it means. Your answer should never end with a quote. You always explain your quote or your citation. So, here I have one of our sample answers that we wrote here. One cool fact about llama poop that the article describes states how the pellets can be used to help plants grow. For example, the text says, nowadays, llama poop makes amazing eco-friendly fertilizer, Tamanaha 1. Now I have to explain that. This means I need to think to myself, what does this quote here mean? And you have to use your own knowledge to explain your ideas and your predictions. So the answer to this part is not in the text. You have to use your own knowledge. So I know that fertilizer means something that you mix into the dirt that helps plants grow. So if llama poop is used for fertilizer, it must have some special nutrients or chemicals in it that plants like. So I could say this means that llama poop contains nutrients and vitamins that plants can use to help them survive. So I took from my own knowledge that llama poop has nutrients and vitamins just by knowing that it is a fertilizer. So this step is a little tricky because you have to really dig into your brain and figure out what is this text or this quote really saying and how can I explain it to my reader. This is a tricky step. All right, so last part here, I'm going to need your participation. So here is a couple sentences about social media by Jada Mosley on page 1. So I will read it, and then you're going to help me restate answer, get evidence, and explain. So in a world that is sometimes boring, social media offers incredible benefits. It can be entertaining, it can spread positivity and kindness. Furthermore, social media can introduce peers and children to new content and positive ideas. So this is talking about the positive side of social media, or the benefits. So the question is asking, how can social media be beneficial for students? First thing we need to do is restate this question. So what is the question phrase that we need to take out? You said how can, you are correct. So social media be beneficial for students? And now we have to do our second step, which is make sure this makes sense. So social media be beneficial for students. Does that make sense? How can we reformat this to make it into a sentence that is complete? Yes, so if you said add a can, you are correct. Social media can be beneficial for students. At the end, we have to add because. So social media can be beneficial for students because, and now we have to answer it. So how can social media be beneficial for students based on this text? Right, because it helps students communicate and stay connected. Nice. All right, now we have to cite evidence or get evidence. So how do we start off our sentence when we are citing evidence? Yes. So for example, the text says, and what sentence in this paragraph supports what we said, that social media helps students communicate and stay connected? What sentence supports that? If you said this sentence, you are correct. So I'm going to copy paste this into my text here. Furthermore, social media can introduce peers and children to new content and positive ideas. So it's connecting them to other people's ideas and other people's videos and other people's pages and content. So this is an incomplete citation. What do I need to add? Yes, so we're going to add the quotation marks. And what is the author's last name and the page number? If you said Mosley 1, you are correct. And now we have a completed citation. Right, so last thing we need to do is we need to explain. So this means that. And what is a possible explanation for what this quote means? Furthermore, social media can introduce peers and children to new content and positive ideas. What is a possible explanation we can use? All right, nice. So this means that social media can help students connect to others who can teach them more about the world or open them up to new ideas. So we're just explaining a little bit about what this means. Social media can help students connect to more knowledge and help them open up to new ideas. So this here, with the restate, answer, evidence, and explanation, is a completed R.A.G.E. Please try to remember this, revisit this video if you ever forget. This is something that you are going to be using in social studies, science, and ELA. So you need to know this. I know this was a long video, so thank you for following along. Please take a break and enjoy the rest of your day.